one, like I think it's a day later. Unless it's a private reading, those don't get posted publicly. Those are private and then they just go away. Because in case people are wondering, wait, aren't those like, yeah. Those don't get posted, just public ones. Hi, okay, here we get started. So let me show you an idea of what I'm doing here. One second here. I'll show you so you can see it. I need to, okay. Okay, I'm just showing you the chart so you can see it here, but I'm trying to open it up so you can get an idea. Okay, here we go. All right, that's what I'm reading, and that is your horoscope. All right, sweetheart? Okay, here we go. So we're gonna start. So the first thing that I see is there's something that you were about to want to do, and it kind of either failed or you realized it wasn't gonna work out. So this is when a person starts to put a great deal of effort into what they're going to do. And they kind of realize it's not really going to, or someone can talk them out of it. Maybe the father. I don't know if that's, sometimes it's someone who maybe takes the place of fatherly advice. Sometimes it's a very dominant mom. You know, don't get too caught up on who, but just, this is also when someone kind of plays a role in like this parental feeling. Hey, don't do that. Sometimes it's a husband, sometimes it's a boyfriend, sometimes it's, you know, an uncle, or, you know, an aunt, you know, an older sister, you know, but this is someone that loves you and tries to talk to you about not doing something that you really want to do. And they could be wrong, because this is a protective advice, but your drive is for a reason. So that means if you dismiss this feeling today, you're going to want it next time. You're going to want to, you know, there's going to be a time in your life again where it revisits and you're going to be like, why didn't I just do it? All right, so there's that, and that's very effective. In other words, it's felt very deeply, you know, it can, so this is also when stress, dealing with something is affect. So there's a new thing I'm talking about now. This is when stress and thoughts and worried about something, trying to figure something out, trying to assess how you feel, kind of keeps you up at night. So this is when the mind's emotional stuff, where your headspace is, can mess with your internal physical pattern. Don't want to eat, oversleep, not sleep enough, whatever it is, it throws you off track because of this heavy feeling. So this might intensify a little bit in the next couple of weeks. So, you know. All right, the next thing I see here is when a person decides to change their, it's like when a person says, okay, I was gonna travel over here, but I'm not. Or I was gonna, you know, change to this location and now I'm not. So this can be school, this can be home, this can be plans with someone, travel with someone, cancellation of the plans. This maybe hasn't happened yet, or maybe just happened, but this is when it also brings a change to the way you're doing things about what you own. So this is when a person can say, okay, I'm going to get rid of everything I don't want anymore from these 2 years, or you know, I'm not into that anymore, so I'm just going to pack it up. And, you know, this is when a person does like a purge of their items. So there's change here. There's change to something you've been attached to. There's change to, you know, travel goals. And there's also some change with money as well. So yes, that can apply as well. So if a person is very much enamored with, let's say, a minor they're going to pursue, and they decide, okay, you know, I'm going to just go for this instead, or I'm going to change my major or my focus. It applies to students. It applies to anything where you are, I guess, putting your eggs in the basket. So for example, if you're working, it would be work related. If it's your home shopping or you're thinking of remodeling, it would affect the home. If you're a student, it can affect, you know, change. It can be like if you're, let's say you are thinking about a abroad program, that can also happen as well. Okay. All right. The next part is, give me one second. What I do is, I usually ignore trolls. Because there's once in a while a troll will creep in there, but I don't pay attention to them. I think it bothers some of the clients, but usually it's a very nice environment when I read on there. Okay. All right, let's see. The next thing that I see is an opportunity coming within the home. So sometimes, so for example, let's say you live with your parents or a relative, that is still your household, even though it's not a house that you went out and purchased and you live in it on your own. It's still, this is influencing anyone in the home. So if you live with someone and they are a relative, not like a cold roommate, because that's like they live their life with their own bank account, but we're talking about like a family member. Hang on one second. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Hang on one second. All right. It makes me do these puzzles. The other one makes me do these puzzles. So sorry about that. What, the puzzles? Oh, the, oh yeah. Okay. So, it can be that you end up bringing something positive into the home, like an opportunity. It can be, usually it's regarding money, but you know, if it's a student, maybe it's a grant, or maybe it's a scholarship money, or maybe it's an award. But usually it affects the home. So if you, let's say, live with family and one of them, you know, brings in more money, they're going to stock more food in the house and maybe add comforts, you know, whatever it is, electronics, whatever it is. This is when there's some kind of positive aspect coming into the home, you know, with that affects you in some indirect way sometimes. This is not too direct, but it still affects you. This is also harmonious. So let's say that there's been some chaos in the home. This also tranquilizes the energy there. There's soon going to be something very rewarding for you coming up very soon. And by soon, I'd have to clock it and see exactly what time, but like maybe in the next couple of months, there's something very, very rewarding coming to you. And this could be love, but it can also be recognition in some way, in something that you're pursuing. Wait, there's some kind of like thing that was posted and then it went away. I don't know what that was. Okay. Because I saw the screen go up and down. Let me check this a minute. I have to cross-reference this a minute with your lower part of the chart. Let me see this. So let me see something. Do you sell any kind of like spiritual readings or anything that's like merging like artistic creativity to help people? Anything that's like uplifting? Some people merge like artistic endeavors with spiritual things. Do you do anything like that? Like maybe online content or anything that's to inspire? Or maybe something that's maybe it's more with maybe something that's competitive, or maybe it's something that maybe a group. Is there anything that you do that's devoted to something that's artsy or something artsy and spiritual? Okay. In your major, is there anything that you're going to be doing with art? Your major, your art major. But in school, is there anything that you are pursuing in school as a student, or have you thought of it? I think there's a lag when you're posting something. I think it takes a while. Or are you typing? Or I'm not trying to rush you. I'm just trying to see if it's stuck. It got stuck or something. Okay. In the future, so this is interesting. I found a section of your chart that, while looking at the current horoscope to see what's coming up, I ended up finding something that's going to be triggered far, I wouldn't say far, but I would say in the future. There's something that you end up doing that merges creativity and something spiritual. But this might activate when you're closer to 27. I didn't want to get too far because usually I do this, I discover these kind of things when I'm doing a life reading, which is, you know, like the whole natal chart. But I stumbled upon something that is long-term natal instead of just the horoscope, and that sometimes happens. Let me see something. You're not going to stay doing what you do, sweetheart. You're not going to stay doing what you're doing. Let me tell you. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You have a very interesting future ahead of you with career. Communication, inspiring people, spirituality, artistic stuff. I won't confuse you, and I won't get you into the long term. Let's focus on now. So in the near future, there's going to be something positive that comes to you in regards to part of it is love. So there's going to be a good luck love time coming. If you're single, you're going to have an opportunity to be with someone. In other words, boyfriend, if you're looking for love. Oh, there might be a lag. Okay. I'm still recording straight on. So if you want to sign out and sign back in, you could do that. My recording is going on straight, so that means that there's no interruption to the recording, so it will be part of the record. But I'm also on the other one, right, on TikTok. So you can go in and out whatever you want. But you could stay here. You could just sign back in and refresh. When mine lags, it'll let me know. I'm still going good, so I don't want to interrupt the record of the. Okay, sweetheart? So that I can repeat it again to let you know. I'll make a mental note of it. So when you come back in, I'll have it. I'm going to keep reading, that way I have more to tell you faster, okay? Okay. All right. You got it? You signed back in? Perfect. All right, this is what I was going to tell you. When it comes to love, if you are single and you're not looking for love, it can just be something special that you both share coming up. So maybe like a new milestone that you reach in a relationship. If you're, you know, so because this talks about attraction, this talks about love, this talks about things that are coming in that are rewarding to you. So this can be if you've been wanting something for a while, like let's say you're into gaming, for example, and you know you've been wanting the setup for it. Someone can gift you that setup. It can be that you get a car. It can be that you It's something rewarding that comes into your life when it's love and things that are fun and joyful. And it's luck. It's very lucky. So a door opens. So that's being shown here. I do see love though interwoven in what I'm saying very strongly here. So this just talks about a romance. So if you're into looking for someone or at least excited about it, this is good. If you're already in a relationship, then this is a highlight point. So there's going to be a small disruption to your routine. So this so you say that you mentioned your job that you have. There could be an interruption to the schedule, or there can be a disruption in maybe the staff that you work with. It's not something to worry about, but I do see like a change coming with that. There is going to be a focus on a cause that you feel strongly about, and you're advised not to verbalize about it too much. It wouldn't really bring you balance. It kind of throw things off. So let's say that you're in the workplace and someone mentioned something to you that's rude, or maybe to a coworker, and you want to defend them. You're advised kind of to stay out of it, because the repercussion of it is just going to make your life harder. So yeah, it's always good to help others. But if it's going to jeopardize your balance and your well-being, to what cost? Again, that's a choice. But the reading is saying you're advised against getting involved in other people's issues. The next thing that I see is there's an important thing that's going to be going on in your workplace. There's someone that you could meet while at work that inspires something for you to pursue, or to get involved in something new that you've never thought about getting involved in. Like a talent starts to be discovered. One of your gifts is communication with others. For some, it's strong marketing, but for you, I don't know how well you consider yourself a people person, but you can be. There's something that you can just push and pioneer. The cosmetology thing could be something that works out for you, but it's not your ultimate destiny. And that's okay, because sometimes people study something and they do it for a good amount of years, and then their destiny is to change to something else, and that's okay. So yeah, I do see that could be something you could pursue, but to lift off, it would take a bit. No one's saying not to, but I think there's something more that can bring out not only your talents, but more money too. I'm not discouraging you. I'm just saying that there's more of a vision to what you wanted, but you see, you're still very young. So I think in about 5-6 years, you'll really have a change in reality when you start looking at the future. There's going to be a lot of things that you outgrow, all right? Because you have a lot of Capricorn here and Saturn, and there's a lot that's going to slow down and other things are going to pick up. And that's a good thing. It's all in timing. But you do have, when you hit your late 20s, your 30s, there's going to be some very big change in what you do. And then later on in life as well, a very big chance to be very successful. Plenty. And it doesn't take studying. Some of it is studying and some of it is experience and some of it is going to be because, you know, the networking and lucky and just being daring and bold and getting involved in things and saying, yeah, I can do this, I can make it work. And it does. So, yeah. So again, what I was saying about the current future, I'm seeing here an inspirational connection that you make at the workplace. So this person might be a little bit older and they might give you some wisdom and inspire you. So it just gets the ball rolling and you might be like, oh, really? And then you might find out a little bit more about it and then get a little bit more in tune with it. So sometimes it can be turning your mind into, hey, you know, have you seen this author or artist, or have you gone here, or have you read this, or have you seen that? It can be content, it can be a person, it can be what they have done. I don't know where the source is coming from, but it's something that opens a door and leads you to more, and it'll just happen naturally. When it comes to anything dealing with, so I don't know how much, do you DoorDash at all? Or do you do anything where your orders come in from online orders? Is there a digital component to your work that is speeding something up? Because this is technology where I'm at right now. And it shows a disruption, but a change that leads to something more logistical. Or, uh-oh, did I lag again? Did you lag again? Okay. Okay, but you don't have anything to do with that, right? Because this would be with you. Unless the establishment becomes overwhelmed because of, you know, this is a small thing. It's not a big deal, but see, astrology just touches on all your parts of your life. So this part is not too much of a big deal, but it's a small change. So it just talks about your how something digital can bring a change to the system. So you're probably, you know, if they start taking, let's say, 3 companies besides DoorDash that does the same thing, or they triple their workload with that, you could just experience more busier and longer hours, or, you know, just a more hectic environment. You might see people frustrated where you're working, you know, oh, there's not enough of us, I can't handle this, it could be something like that. There's nothing for you to worry about. This just talks about that. Now, another thing as well, if it's school, oh, you're not in school. Okay, I was going to say, for students, this can be that when they go sign up to a new thing, it can also be hybrid courses. I've seen this with a lot of, they want to go online or show up, and hybrid is the only thing that's available. So like half and half. All right, this would be the work environment then for you. The next thing that I see here is, this is a very weird question, but has someone stolen something from you? Like borrow something and not give it back, or if you posted something online and you see someone copy it. Okay, this talks about that. So you can misplace something and wonder where it went. This is a time to be careful of like your handbag, or something maybe meaningful to you. This is where you can, it talks about a female copying or taking something from yours, and it's just annoying. There's nothing else to say about it. It's just a small nuisance. Yeah. So if you lend things to friends, they wouldn't give it back, or maybe they'll see you have a designer lipstick or something, and they're like, and it's like $40, and they'll be like, ooh, and they'll take it. So there's something, you know, whatever it is, this is to be aware of your belongings. So small satchels, small leather goods, or, you know, stuff that can be costly, or maybe things with your personal information, not online, in real life. So this is like touchy, like someone has to grab it. All right, and it's hidden, so it has to do with a female. That's all. There's nothing else in the current, because I do short time frames for these. That's what I see. I like the love energy. I like the luck. I like the new inspiration. So let me explain one more thing. Today, the way that you look at stuff, because of your age, not because of you in particular, but just an average outlook that most people your age have. They are concerned about the future, but the reality of like actual specific things really don't come into play till later. So this is one of those phases where you start kind of touching on clues for the future. So let's say that 5 years from now, you end up discovering you do have skills in something interesting, something talented. You really, really, really go after something you want to do and you love. You'll look back and you'll be like, you know what? When in 2026, I should have known, because that was my first time that I experienced whatever this was. So this is saying this is the beginning of inspiration for things. You start to kind of like get a clue as to where you're going to be headed, but I don't think you realize it yet. So that's the part about career. Let's go ahead and do the tarot part. And oh, I forgot to tell you, are you aware of your sun, moon, rising, or no? Some people are not aware of their astrology and some people are. You know your time of birth, so you probably know about your astrology. Okay, you do know. Okay, so just to verify real quick, because some people have told me a different sign than they are. I just want to make sure. You are an Aries sun, you are a Sagittarius moon, and your rising is Aries. Okay, so that's a double Aries. All right, sweetheart? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good, good, good. Oh, let me see something. One more thing. Oh, even though I do this in the life reading, but I need to see something really quick with what I'm going to do. Okay, no, you do not have a fourth identity, and that's okay. You don't need one. I just wanted to make sure if you have any kind of stellium, and you don't. All right, so here we go. We're going to move in with the full life reading. So far, do you have any questions for me, or are you just ready for me to continue? Okay, great. So you are aware that when you have your complete lunar cycle, the complete cycles of all the moons, you haven't lived through them yet. You do realize this is around age 27, 28, 29. Around those ages, depending on when you were born. That is the most important first milestone a person really reaches. I mean, there's some returns, but not too many. Yeah, I mean, by your age, there's a couple of returns, but the big stuff is when you've lived through all the moons. And then the next thing is going to be, like a Saturn return. And then, yeah, that's the first like epic return, really. And then the rest, you're about to have a Jupiter return. So that's very important for you. But you're still not going to activate natal things yet. Not yet. Because that's why I ran into one interesting unlocking, but that's not till a couple of years. And I was like, wow, this is going to be a big career thing. All right, sweetheart. All right. So I started with the tarot, but I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, one second. We got more Jesus freaks on here. Sorry. The trolls. Okay, go to church then. Okay, here we go. All right. So the energy check is showing a love energy, how should I say? Okay. So this has to do with a breakup. Okay. It talks about abandonment. It talks about heartbreak. Have you been broken up with before? So it's about being dumped. Okay. And so I hate to say it so ugly like that. Were you dumped recently? Because this is coming up. This is when a person is abandoned. It just happened. How long ago? This is very close energy. So okay, I'm very sorry for that. Let me see something here. Okay. So this is a situation where checking for motive. This is a situation where yeah, I no, he did not cheat. And I, for a fact, he did not cheat. As far as physical flesh to flesh situation. What I'm seeing is, so you might be upset and you might be very focused. Okay. Okay. So I'm very technical. Okay. So let me tell you what I'm finding. All right. There was no infidelity when it comes to, you know, physical flesh, you know, situation. In other words, the regular old-fashioned way, the birds and the bees way. Now, there are other scenarios that bring about that type of behavior, which is still the same thing, but it's not technically the same thing. But it is ugly and not all right and all of that, right? So for example, flirtation with someone he doesn't know personally, engaging in swapping of, content and photos and whatever, or viewing inappropriate adult content to a level that is secretive from you, all of those things, right? So either way, it's disgusting, and still betrayal. But all I'm trying to tell you is, because of the technicality of things, it would technically be a no, but obviously would still fit under the umbrella of yes. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm very technical how I read, I have to tell you if it was this box checked off or that box checked off. The problem that I'm seeing is the following. When it comes to the clue, or I guess the clarity on what's going on with him, there is a fixation on two females that he has not physically met. Now, whatever took place in the past, recent past, I already addressed as abandonment, right? But now we're looking at something that's a fresh twist on his ugly behavior. For you to know, just for you to know. Nothing that you have to do about it or anything, just to inform you. There's a fixation, so that means that he's watching for either their posts or their feedback, but it shows that he wants to know them and doesn't. He wants to open that door and make it a reality, and he has not. And it's with two females, all right? And I do not believe the two females know each other, just to be clear, all right? Now, a little bit on the abandonment of this situation. This talks about someone with financial comparison. So, for example, when someone inquires, how much did you spend on this? It's when money or in exchange of some kind of payment takes place as well for something that he did. So, for example, if there was an expense he made and you asked what did you buy with this? That began an issue. So at the root of this, there's something where there's some kind of doubt with money in this story, right? I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but it is a problem here. So if he, it's kind of like, I don't know. I think I explained it right. If you have any questions about it, then you can ask me. Let's go on to the next thing here. Right. And the root of that, the root of him doing that, yeah. The root of him doing that is a lot more than just comparing, which is why I brought it up. There's an issue from not only his upbringing, this person has had, so there's no excuse to be that type of individual that he is. But I do see an issue with his upbringing and some mistakes that were made when he was being made into an adult because he's a crummy adult. And that stems from a shitty home. That stems from shitty parenting. You know, he's to blame. It's his choices. He's a big boy. But it comes from that, unfortunately, not a good home. Being exposed to the wrong crowd and the wrong thing too young. So I don't mean to make you feel awkward or anything in the reading. I'm going to keep it super clean because I'm very, you know, G-rated in my stream. Sometimes Gen Z watches and stuff. So there are some things coming up. And again, this is not to call you out or anything, okay? But there are some behaviors and things that are not too appropriate or proper coming up with you and him. So maybe like, you know, delving into like substances and behaviors and things like that. You know, where parents and grandparents would freak out. There is some of those behaviors coming in with you and him. Lifestyle choices and decisions that are not the best choices. So partying, experimenting, and all of those things are coming up, and that also leaves you susceptible to a wrong partner. Yeah, but it's in the same kind of like, you know, it's not the super, you know, best choices, you know. Yeah, it's there's a bet, you know, those lifestyle choices could carve a path for you where you could have a really peaceful, good choice of a life, very serene, versus, you know, matching with individuals that kind of take you down the wrong road. That's what I mean by that. So bad influence guys, bad boys. Maybe you have a taste in bad boys, you know, and it doesn't help you very much. So that's what I meant by that. So this is just saying that this can do a number on you later. That it basically you're not loving yourself the best you can because of the company that you keep, is what it means. And this is important in a reading because a reading is supposed to shed light on all the things where a person can be their best self and have the best results. And that's why I say that. And by the way, you may not, but this person does. So just to let you know. And it can also be that they are, you know, how should I say, choosing a lifestyle under hidden things that they shouldn't, and you should be aware of that. Well, now there was a breakup, but I'm just saying that this is also another danger as well, because if he looks bad, you could look bad, and that can affect career and path. Yeah. Trying to figure this out. Give me a minute. I'll tell you what it is so far. Maybe you know what it is. If not, I will get the answer. It's your life, so you would probably know it faster than me, okay? So Spirit is mentioning here, when a person is, either they know they're being watched. So this is with your job or something having to do with, maybe with something with liquor or something like that. This is when a person is either being watched or watching, making sure no one sees them. And it's to do with being judged and doing something that they shouldn't. So I don't know if you bartend making, like drinks to people that don't show you their ID or a fake ID or whatever. I don't know if this is like the bosses doing something. Maybe they think liquor's missing from work. There's something that is there's a worry and a stress here. General readings are a little bit quirky because they can get into such fine detail on any part of a person's life. So if you're telling me this is a career reading, we know it's just in the context of career. But when I throw things at you, it could be anything in your life. So that's why sometimes, as I'll be descriptive and it takes the person a moment, like, what? Oh, okay, it's this. So that's the hard part about generals. But this is just saying that there's something going on where it's almost like either a person feels they're being like watched because they could be judged on their behavior, or they are being watched because of something that they're doing. So if you're doing something that you shouldn't be, this would be a time not to. And if you feel that someone is, maybe looking for a reason to get you fired, or maybe looking for something, this can also be when someone hides something from family because of embarrassment, something like that. They can enter a situation not in their best functioning awareness. Yeah. So you will. So this is, not all readings are everything that happened. So we started off with your reading being in the past. And at some point this is, because if the whole reading was in the past, then you wouldn't really need it because everything happened. This is to create awareness for you. So the part where, let me figure out more detail on this, because the brunt of this message hasn't played out, so it's preventative, but the beginning of it has, you see? So let me see. So in other words, part of it is already in place, which is where the client can identify it, but the warning is coming. So that's what I'm saying. It's something, because this is what you need to know. And it can be based on a reality that's already present, but if it escalates, this is the part you need to know. All right, so give me 1 second. So there's something that you're doing that you're hiding, and this is something that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing, and you will get caught. That's uncomfortable the way I'm saying it, because it sounds so accusatory, and I don't mean it that way. It could be something a little bit innocent. So say giving yourself extra drinks at work that you figured no big deal, they're rich, they can afford it, or taking liquor in a disposable cup, no big deal, I work here, I'm entitled to freebies. It can be adding time to the clock because you got there extra early and you wanted to clock in. I don't know how serious. I'm afraid to look because I don't want to offend you or anything like that. So I want to leave it, you know, unless you feel very worried and you need more. But if there's something that you, yes, it is work related. Yes. Okay. So there's something, I gave you some examples. Okay. Let me see. Is there something that you are doing at work or at work? It doesn't have to be while you're on the clock. You could be off the clock and in the building. The point is that the boss will notice. You see? So why do you need to know this? You need to know this so that you don't get in trouble at your job. You know what it is? What is it? It's just to help you. It's not to point the finger and be like, you're doing this. It's just to be helpful. That's what these readings are for. So you know. Okay. Don't be surprised if at some point they say something to you and then you're embarrassed, you know, because, you know, they might make you feel bad. Hey, you know, whatever. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's all it is. All right, sweetheart. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Ask again. Yeah, oh yeah. That's the whole point, is so that you're not taken aside and they say, look, you know, you've been, you know, yeah, that's the whole point. So just maybe like ask and be like, hey, is it okay if I do that? And they'll say, no, you shouldn't be doing, oh, okay, I figured I might ask. And if they say, yeah, go ahead, then you can. And then that way, if anybody says anything about it, you'll be like, I asked. So it's just for that, because it shows that someone's been noticing and they're going to say something if they see it again. So the reading is saying don't do it again, because that person is like, it's kind of like they told themselves, if I see it again, I'm going to say something. But if they don't see it again, then you're good. So tomorrow, if you work, or today, or whatever time frame you're in, like that, take it like after the reading, it's a clean slate, you know, just be aware. That's all, sweetheart. All right, here we go. By the way, what sign is the guy that broke up with you? Is he an air sign or fire sign? Well, I guess he would be any of his identities, sun, moon, rising. Yeah, earth. Okay. And do you know his moon and rising or no? Well, his rising probably no, right? Because that's like so awkward to ask what time someone's born. Oh, no problem. Yeah, so, okay. So you wouldn't know his moon. Okay. Well, his moon is easy to figure out. Just go to moongiant.com and click on the were you born on a full moon? Click on that button, put in the month, day, year, and you'll know the sign. So they're a website that's, I usually, because we professional astrologers, we pay for like really expensive software, but like I always love to give like free places for people to look stuff up. They're a great site for the sign of the moon, but they're wrong in the phase. They have errors in the phase. So if it'll say like waxing gibbous, it's probably wrong. Yeah, but they're really good on the site. They're very accurate with the sign. So you would know his moon that way. But no worries, you don't need to know his moon. It's just that I'm getting a detail here that made me, well, okay, doesn't matter. Let me keep going. How many sisters do you have? One or two? This is about her. That happens in readings, general readings. Sometimes people come into the picture, you know, that's close to you and stuff. Have I ever read for her? Or no? Sometimes I read for sisters and stuff. And cousins, and I have read for her. Okay. Because I can't remember. I can't remember her. But that's, which is terrible, but that means usually when someone pops in and says hi and stuff, I usually like remember. But if it's been a while, sometimes I forget who's related to who. Because I only say like a little icon and we talk, you know, I don't really know unless I'm like in the reading, like really into it. So someone's coming up and let me see something. So I don't know, you know, you don't have to talk about her life because usually sisters, they'll be like, don't talk about me in the reading. It's not my reading. Stay out of my business. So I don't, you know, so I'll be very quick with it. It's just something you need to know. There's something, okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm terrible with names. Okay, there is something coming up where, so if she's married, I'm really confused because this is someone involved, you know, this is a man that's not interested, that it's kind of checking out. Could there be someone she's dealing with that's not, things aren't going very well in love stuff without getting into her stuff? If she's in a solid relationship, this is an enemy and I need to look into it. If this is her love situation, then we'll leave it at that and I'll give you a detail about it. Okay? I would probe more, but I feel I don't want to be disrespectful to her and open this up more without her here. Okay. So let me just give you the message as minimal as I can and move on to another subject. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Again, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know, with her anything, but here's the message. This is her love partner. Whatever situation she's got, whether she's engaged or they've been going out for a couple years or they live together or whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's just this is her love partner, and she can have a very big situation with him. It looks like he's not acting in the best way with her. It looks like he can come off as very disrespectful. And there could be some kind of unpleasant altercation. So like when there's yelling and they have to call, the authorities, and things can get loud and stuff like that. So if you're aware of her life and you are comfortable calling her and telling her, look, I did a reading, it's very minimal, we didn't get into your stuff too much, but that you could have like some kind of stressor, argument kind of thing, and, try to appease it, because it can escalate really ugly. Okay. It also talks about the love person, the guy, not really sentimentally and emotionally acting in a way that she deserves. So we'll leave it at that, okay? And that's all she needs to know, just to appease it, because he's not acting respectfully and proper, okay? Hey Chantal, if you want to book a reading, I'm in the middle of a paid one, sweetie. I can't interrupt their reading, okay? So if you want to get one, you can. All right. All right. All right, the next message, because the other stuff was a little bit about the sister situation, but I don't, like I said, I don't read for other people. Like, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just, all right. So, the next subject is, this is about, you, the next subject is on, a person that you're going to come across to date. So I did see in the astrology, in your horoscope, I did see some good luck love stuff coming up, but that's not for a little bit. So that means from here to now, or I'm sorry, from today to that time in place, there's going to be like other connections that you make because you're young and you're dating, and it's stuff like that. You get the ball rolling, this guy did that, and you move on, right? So there's a warning, and this is under the medical subject, right? So this is to have an awareness and be careful with people germs, if you want me to say it in a nice way. So before you smoochies, make sure that, you do the right, like, checking up and stuff, like medical tests or whatever, because there could be something, okay, with a germ situation. So you have to be careful with that. Now, this guy is not very handsome. He's when you meet him, so the next person you could meet might be really sweet, and then it doesn't work out, and then you meet another one and he doesn't work out, and then it's the one I'm talking about. Or the very next one that you could meet is the one that I'm talking about, because this is a general reading. So it's not going to bring up every person you're going to be romantically flirting with. This is a general. So it's bringing up something of a medical warning. So that means that you just have to understand that from today to the day that you meet the one that is going to bring you a lot of joy, because there's going to be some frogs and then some prince, type guys. So there's really good ones and really ones that are not too good, but they're there. And sometimes people do that when they're mingling, until they meet the right one. Well, this one in particular, he's very sweet and thoughtful. He's a bit tall. And he's really sweet and charming. So the type of attraction that you have to him might not be visually what you super like or drawn to, but because you're a double Aries, you're a little bit of a sucker for attention and compliments. And he is good at that. So you might be a little bit melting over the way that he comes across, like really sweet and caring, very attentive. And you might, kind of, you know, just go on a few dates with him or whatever. And this is just letting you know that you have to be aware, okay? Sometimes it's contagious. Sometimes it's where you get involved with someone that has like a really big medical burden, and it's very stressful for you to watch. So like people that have to go have certain procedures or certain things. It's not like that in this case. In this case, it's, yeah. In this case, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. No, I know what you mean. At the same time, it's also a warning of like when a person gets a scare, you know, like a scare. So sometimes, you know, there could be something that is there in the person, but you're all right, and then you go through a stressful factor. So it doesn't really matter which one of these it is. I don't really open these up too much with detail because I don't like to delve too much in the medical part because it's uncomfortable. I'd rather tell the person the real message, which is be careful with germs. That's all. And I like to give the clarity on the descriptive information. He's taller, he's sweet, he's charming. Okay? He's not super handsome. It's just it's more his swag and his, not even his swag, because he doesn't have that much vibe, you know. It's more like he's just super sweet. And when you look at him, you kind of you're not super sure, and then you're like, yeah, that's fine. So I see you getting a bit like, yeah, let's be daring and go for it. And then that's when there is. So I'm giving you that description because that's more important for you to identify those feelings when you're living your daily life as this progresses, so that you can say, wait a minute, I remember the reading, I'm not okay with that, I want to take precautions, I want to go to, you know, all of those to be smart for yourself, okay? And advocate for yourself and all the things that you need to do to be, you know, woman's health and all those things. So no matter what scenario it is, it's just important. And it can throw you into a situation because the reading shows you don't, I know you say you understand, and that's great, but the reading shows that you will probably miss the warning. Because it talks about you going through a period of a lot of confusion and stress over the fear. So I'd rather take an extra minute and be boring and tell you a little bit more than to say I told you so, which I never say that, 'cause that's rude, but I never say that. So just be aware, honey, that's all. Okay? All right, let's see. Do you know a guy named Jason? Do you know a guy named Jason? I heard the name very clear, so you may want to make a note of it. I saw a guy standing on his profile side. He's definitely brunette, Caucasian, brunette, but there's something to his brown hair that shows me that in his genetic makeup, he's got redhead in his family. So he's a brunette, but you know how you can stare at a brunette and know if they have a lot of blondes in their family? and know if like maybe they had a red hair when they were little and it got brown. There's like something to the brown when the light hits it. Like you can tell with highlights and low lights naturally in color. Okay, so there's something that lets me know that there's something reddish or auburn, but he doesn't have red hair. It's just that he either had it when he was little, and he's wearing a collared shirt. So, you know, those, like I don't know what you call them. Every state has different jargon and every generation has different jargon. But, like just like one of those polos with the collared shirt that sometimes has something embroidered on it and it's white. It's a white collared shirt and there's something embroidered, but I don't know what it is. And it's a collared. I don't know. And he's kind of messy. I don't know why I saw him, but I just, let me find out. So that's, I just saw the guy that you're going to meet. I didn't see his face. I saw his profile. And there's music playing loudly where he's standing. And when he stands, he takes his fingers and he like, you know how you pull your shirt, but you do it with two guys do that. You don't see women going like this. That's weird. But a guy will just sit there going like that. Like if he has to like, his shirt bothers him or something. I saw him do that weird mannerism. Okay. So nervous twitch. I don't know. Girls will do something like this or something. Or like play with their jewelry or whatever. That's the guy you're gonna meet. I don't feel he's the germy guy. So he could use a haircut. He's not like straight out of the barbershop or salon cut. It's grown out a little bit. Not past his ears. Obviously he's groomed, but it's a little bit long, you know. He's a little bit messy. It's just like he doesn't take the time to like gel and groom himself. He's not one of these like high maintenance. He's just like a little messy. So that's I don't know. I don't see him with any jewelry on. Average body, you know, like not too skinny. I don't see him be all built up or anything like that. Just average. I don't know how to explain it. And I just saw him standing there, and there's a place where it's either a place to eat. I mean, the way he's dressed, it's not going to be a club, like for sure, because they would like tell him to leave because he's not dressed for nightlife. But, you know, there's something, so it's got to be a place of eating, I guess, because he's dressed way too like casual. Yeah, I don't know. He's not tan. He's like, I guess, fair. Maybe light little freckles a little bit on the arms. I don't see any watch, and I don't see any bracelet or anything, but it's a man that you're going to meet. It's a guy you're going to meet. Usually when I scry, I get a lot of detail on the moment or stuff, but I didn't scry. This one just came to me without tools, so it was unexpected too. So I'm sorry, that's all I got. Let me go back to, all I know is you're going to meet him. Now, the Jason name, I don't know if that's his name, or I don't know if that's something else, but I'm telling you, it's in the same time frame, because you're just supposed to, so when I don't expect it, and I have like a clairaudient come in with, you know, a clairvoyant come in without the separate from the divination that I'm doing, Like it could be related, but it can be like separate for the client, separate for the client. So I don't know if the Jason is, yeah, okay, just to let you know. Okay, let's move on here. Okay. The Capricorn's showing up again, your ex. Okay. He's going to show up either at your job. So this is not something that, you know, this is chronological. So it's not like you're gonna go to work tomorrow and the next day or the next day he's gonna show up. This is something that you just have to like relax, and it's like know that it's coming up at some point in the next couple of months. It's not gonna be longer. This is something that you'll see the chronology. Yeah, I've read for you before, right? Through the years. I remember your name. You have a unique name. It reminds me of fairies. So, because Woods and Kyla, like a Kyla fairy in the woods. So every time I say it, I'm like, oh my God, she's got that fairy name. So it reminds me. Okay, so you know how my readings are, right? I mean, I assume. Like, they're chronological. Like, have you seen how like something plays out and then you gotta wait for it to play out? Okay. So however it is that you do your thing, your intuitive thing that you do, just do it that way. I don't know how to tell the client how to address their readings, but you must know what you're doing, right? So whatever it is that you do, just be aware that this is a little bit after the fact, okay? So don't think, oh my God, he's gonna show up tomorrow. No, it's just at some point. Obviously, he's right now. We know if we're gonna slow down the time and look at right now with a magnifying glass, we know that his preoccupation is those two dingbats. So you know that he's going to have to go through some kind of phase, and you're going to mingle with this person and that person and this person, and then you meet somebody, and then bam, he shows up. You see, like saying, oh, I miss you or whatever. Because there's something here where it talks about, so he's very cocky in his own way. He's pretty stuck up. And it talks about you be like daydreaming, like, okay, not daydreaming, but like when a person's just like into their own groove, like they're like in their own world of working, or, their mind is occupied on fulfilling an order at work or whatever you're doing, and you don't expect it. And he could be waiting when you get out of work or come by. I don't know if he's going to walk into the workplace, but it can be that he's there when you're ready to leave. If he was in the habit of maybe giving you a ride, I don't know. It could be that he, shows up at your place right after you work. There's something there, and it catches you by surprise. It can also be that he texts you right when you're about to get off of work, and that startles you. And then he makes arrangements to just show up. That is possible too, because I see that there's something not directly at work and something directly at work. So the only thing that it can be is that it's something interwoven between communication while at work, and then he shows up when you leave. Something like that, okay? Maybe like to make arrangements with you, hey, you're going to be here, whatever. So it just talks about him trying to feel like you'll take him back because he's very cocky. He's very sure of himself. Knowing that you'll take him back, right? So the message is like saying, don't fall for it, because that's not the right direction for you, and you know that. And besides, at this point in your life, I don't know if you're going to be meeting the guy that was the astrology good luck guy. I don't know if it's going to be the guy I saw, which didn't give me a bad vibe. The, you know, puff the shirt guy, whatever. He's not doing it to puff his shirt. He's doing it to, like, it bothers him. Something inside the seam is bothering him. Or if it was the germy guy. I don't think, no, the guy I saw is not the germy guy. So by that time, you're very busy in your life, and this idiot shows up. Oh, she'll take me back. Okay. Now, it also talks about him mentioning something to you. So he gets upset. Okay. That means you talk to him far longer than you should. And he mentioned something to you that upsets you, and he could have a story and you can be reeled into it. So Aries is usually very bright, very, very aware. I mean, I've met some dumb Aries. I'm not going to lie to you. Every sign has dumb ones and smart ones. But generally, Aries is pretty astute in things like that. And you are aware, and you kind of, you are in control of what you're feeling. But the problem is that you do have a soft side, and he could play in that soft side. And then when someone's playing that tenderness, that's not fair. And that's when your smarts kind of say, okay, wait, I'm a sucker because I'm very, you know, this is a tender thing. He might lay on a story. This is just talking about a falseness. So if you can kind of work with that Aries energy you've got, you'll be fine. The thing is that Sag is very, I want to help you, I'm loving. Sag can be very motherly, by the way. You know, they're the ones that lead the group, you know, into philosophies and sharing, and they love to cultures, and they love the experience, and you know, and they're very heart to heart. And I think that Sag has a soft spot. You know, let me help you, you know, let me give you advice, let me help you out, you know, come to me, I'll hold your hand, you know. Sag is very bold that way. And that's where, unfortunately, he could be doing a cold number on you, okay? All right. Okay, so the reading has closed. This pretty much talks about everything you need to know. Like I said, we didn't get into every tiny detail, but we covered all the important aspects that you needed to know. The guy is toxic. It's a good thing he broke up because you didn't need to stay in that. You definitely were not in good company with his shadiness. Not a good influence on you, and was not going to continue to be a good influence on you coming up this year. You are going to deal with some frogs, but you're going to have some good things coming to you. Work will stay where it is, but today I found something very rewarding for you. You are headed for a very interesting career in your life. You will be successful. There's a lot of luck that you will have in your life. And your career is kind of be like a journey to you. It has a lot of Saturn. It has a lot of Capricorn energy, and Capricorn is wisdom. You know, it can delay things. Some people call him Father Time. It can delay things for a good reason, but it can also delay a person from getting their action going. So here's one of the lessons for you in your life according to your natal chart, which I didn't read your natal chart, but in reading your horoscope, I saw it. You're an Aries, and you're a double Aries, which means you and patience, you don't belong in the same sentence. So when God was making you, you didn't wait in line for patience. I think you skipped that line like twice. So if you can't do it now, you're not interested, right? I want it now. And career will come to you in many ways. Saturn is saying you're not going to care. You're going to be like, whatever. I'm not bothering with that. I'm not going to study. I don't care about that. I'm not into it. I guess I'll do it when I do it. So there's a little bit of laziness in career, which is odd because you're double Aries. So there's going to be things that you do right away because you're a quick learner and you can figure it out and you can take shortcuts where most people can't. and you can. You'll discover more of that when you get older, but there's a journey for you with your career. One where you will be blessed with several times that big opportunity come to you, where you're able to, have a good amount of flow. To live comfortably. I'm not saying like crazy megabucks, but very good bouts of luck. And you will have many chances to do a lot of things. And you will have something successful. But it's going to be about you learning patience. And it's about you applying yourself when you don't want to. And it's going to also be luck that comes to you. So you're not going to be the type of success that you have to really study in for it. You're going to be the type of success that you do short amounts of study, and you do like very rigorous amounts of applying yourself, but it has to have like a cutoff date. It's not like you're going to be in like an 8-year program at the university. That doesn't suit your future, but you will have moments where you buckle down and say, okay, I'm going to complete this. And there is a lot of luck to the outcome of your career, very much. It's just that it'll get there when Saturn wants it to get to you, not when you want it to get to you. And that's one of the lessons, being a double Aries, and then also the Saturn and the role that it plays in your chart, and which is interesting because you happen to be a Capricorn magnet, and that's interesting. You have a lot of Capricorns that surround you, and you draw a lot of Capricorns, and that's also Saturn's energy on you. So Saturn is what's going to bring you success in your future, you in particular. And then you're Sagittarius, which the bold, adventurous, let's go do it, let's be daring, let's go discover, I want something new. And that's great, because that's going to bring you, your curiosity is going to open a lot of doors for you. But it can also give you some trouble. So it's going to be really cool. One day, if you want to do a career mini read or something like that, I think it'd be fun. All right, sweetheart, thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me? Anything that is related to what we've said, or anything that I might have said is confusing to you? Yeah. There's all kinds, It doesn't have to be. You know what? One of the biggest things I'm asked a lot says, what's the biggest advice that you give when a person wants get spiritual readings? I say, don't try to take everything literally and figure it out, because you won't. For example, if I tell you, there could be a guy with germs. Okay, that can mean so many different things. So many different things. I can sit here doing like 6, 7, 8 scenarios, and you'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, okay, Okay. Okay. So you were, okay. Jumbled. Okay. Did I help your jumbleness? Because if not, I could shed light on it, because your energy, the energy of the reading is still here. Is there anything I can do to help you out since you got the reading? So for you not to be jumbled? Yeah. The connection that you had is not over, because he's going to want you back. But I'm telling you, it is not a good one. It is not a good connection. It does not serve a good purpose for you. Yes, of course. And you will have your moment where you reject him, and it will make you feel good. All right? Because you're double fire. And with a double fire, sometimes it's kind of weird, but fire signs, like water signs, need to be heard, right? and air signs need to be involved. Fire signs need to feel like even. I know it's so weird to say it, but it's going to be like this peaceful, like, aha, how does it feel? You know, I'm not saying they're vindictive, but I'm saying like it takes away that burning feeling. So you will have that moment where you feel like, I got the last word. And you're also going to be involved in a lot of other connections. So your career's going to turn out fine. You have a lot of adventures coming your way. You know, I think the challenge here is, you know, are you paying too much attention to other parts of your life? Which, you know, your age, that's fine. But you got to think, you know, in retrospect, you know, are you really focusing on your future and your goals and your things? Or are you too much into the friends and the social and the love stuff? Which is not bad, but just kind of flip the switch a little bit. Kind of, you know, switch your perspective. What are you doing for you? How much are you doing for you? You know, and that's fine. Aries usually has a moment in their life where their career takes off. That's a very Aries thing, and it will when it will. No Aries sits there and says, "Well, it has to be right now." It's when they feel it. They each have a different path, but it's just a thing I've seen with Aries. It's when everything aligns, then they go for it. Whereas other signs like Virgo, they kind of have this sense, okay, I need to plan it out now, but it's 20 years ahead. It doesn't matter. I need to plan it. I need to have a plan, you know? So, I'm just saying, well, actually Virgo females are like that. Virgo males are like, I'll get there when I get there. If I get there, just leave me alone. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I don't think you should be jumbled because it wasn't good for you. You know, it was a blessing that happened. It was a blessing, and because you were headed down not good, and there's gonna be a lot of new connections that you make, and before you know it, all of this stupid nightmare will have been like a bad dream you barely remember, because you're gonna be so connected to so many new energies and so many new people, and so much is going to be going on with your life. It's like you get a life, you know. It's not going to worry. No, the Capricorns are a good thing, but no, actually, I didn't feel any Capricorns at this time. I feel there are other signs. Yeah, for sure. And then of course, you know, we'll look at your soulmate and stuff in the future, but right now don't worry about that. All right, sweetheart, have a good one. And you know what? Cheer up. Don't feel jumbled and bad. No. Start enjoying and celebrating. It's a whole new year and you have a lot to look forward to. So, no, don't let that idiot get you down. No. All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And tell your sister I said hello. But don't tell her I didn't remember you had one. No, I'm just kidding. This is recorded, so I didn't remember you. I'm sorry. All right, sweetheart. Have a good one. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for checking out my live. If you guys are waiting on a reading, you can book one. And I'm going to be on TikTok doing free yes and no.